are certainly not different from you. This transcendental potency of yours manifests itself in 3 different ways, and it assists in the performance of your eternal pastimes in different ways, according to your own sweet will. The original form of the cognizant potency, Shakti, is manifesting your eternal pastimes in the spiritual world, and just to give you pleasure, it becomes a pleasure-giving potency known as Lalitanatha. Secondly, becoming the Jiva Shakti, the potency produces a multitude of fine conscious particles which make up the glowing effulgence of your transcendental body. All of these souls are thus manifest with a natural, marginal characteristic of minute independence. Thirdly, becoming the Maya Shakti, the potency creates the innumerable material universes, and within them she captures and binds all the souls who choose to remain averse to you, dear Lord. Hearing these prayers offered to Lord Chaitanya by the dead boy, Bhaktivinoda says at this point that he himself has also become averse to the Lord due to his offences, and has become swallowed up by Maya in the material world. Song number 8. Purna Chidananda Tumi. The dead son continued, "You, dear Lord, are completely full in transcendental bliss. I am simply a tiny conscious particle of you. Therefore, by nature, I am your eternal servant. Only you are supremely independent, whereas I am totally dependent on you. Indeed, neglecting your lotus feet, I have now become completely ruined. As soon as I chose to be independent of your lordship, I became inclined toward Maya's illusory benefits. Thus, I have given up my natural spiritual characteristics. Falling down due to the dazzling bewilderment of fruitive gain, I have become captured by Maya within this mundane world. Now, as a result, I am being forcibly thrown into a revolving wheel of binding fruitive actions and reactions. Thus, I am bound up by Maya in this world according to your will, being firmly cleansed in the iron-like grip of my predestined fate. And according to this fate, I have now come into Srivasa's home by taking birth as a son of Malini. Now, again, according to my predestined fate, I must leave this place. I cannot remain here any longer, even if I wanted to. Your desire is most powerful, my dear Lord, whereas my desire is most feeble, for I am simply an insignificant, humble soul. Wherever you send me next, O Lord, I must certainly go to become someone's son, a husband or father. However, I know that all these material relationships do not possess even one speck of eternal truth, for only you, dear Lord, are the eternal friend and guardian of all souls. Only one who foolishly neglects the eternal shelter of your 2 lotus feet considers the union and separation of all these temporary family relationships to be separation of all distress. This just shows how much one has actually become absorbed in the bodily concept of life, being crammed and stuffed into the womb of illusion. Hearing all these truths about the fate of the bound soul has now made Bhaktivinoda become extremely frightened. Song number 9. Bandilo Maya Jedina. The dead boy continued, "Thus I have been captured and bound by Maya. Due to being tied tightly by the ropes of ignorance and bewilderment, I have undergone many, many births since that time, simply wandering here and there in the ghastly darkness of Maya's illusions. Sometimes I become a demigod, sometimes a demon, and sometimes I get the body of a man, an animal, a bird, or an insect. Sometimes I wander up to heaven, sometimes down to hell, and sometimes on earth, being carried away the whole time by innumerable materialistic hopes and aspirations. I have no idea what kind of wonderful pious credit I have earned to be born here in this life as the son of Srivasa Pandit within the holy abode of Navadvip. Thus I myself am amazed that I have had the great fortune of actually being able to see and touch your lotus feet, O Lord. Usually, whenever I have to die, experienced great pain and distress upon leaving the particular body I happen to be in. But this time, I'm only experiencing great happiness by discussing all these topics related to your glories. However, my time is now up, so I must take your leave. If it is your desire that I should take another birth, O Lord, I pray and humbly request your Lordship to kindly allow me to be always situated in a transcendental loving service of your divine lotus feet. Saying this, the boy then fell silent. Seeing this wonderful pastime of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srivasa Pandit's whole family gave up all of their lamentation and became absorbed in great transcendental happiness. Thus, the transcendental character and activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are just like a continuous shower of ambrosia. Bhaktivinoda is thereby losing his vital life force, simply begging Srivasa Thakur to allow him to bring more of this nectarian ambrosia. Song number 10. Srivasa Kohin Prabhu. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to speak to Srivasa with very affectionate and sweet words. He said, "My dear Srivasa, you are actually my very old servant. Indeed, I am staying in this world only due to your unalloyed love for me. You, Srivasa Pandit, are factually the commander-in-chief of all of my devotees. Today your glorious character will be acclaimed throughout the three worlds. You are never subject to the imprisoning bondage of my Devi, the proprietress of this prison-like material world. Indeed, this fact is attested to by all the people of the world. You have dedicated unto me all of your wealth, followers, body and household paraphernalia, and thus you have become most joyful by being so nicely situated in my eternal service. The whole of your existence in this world is only for the purpose of nourishing my eternal pastimes. Thus your ideal behavior as a transcendentally family man is exemplary for instructing all the materialistic householders. Sri Nityananda Prabhu and I are so much obliged to you due to your pure love for us. Indeed, we know that you enjoy great happiness by considering us to be your very own sons. We are truly your eternal sons, for we see that you are not at all attached to your temporary sons who are all subject to the material conditions of creation and destruction. Because of your pure devotion, I am eternally indebted to you, and because of your saintly character, you are also quite deserving of my indebtedness." Hearing these loving words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this rascal Bhaktivinoda now begs at the feet of Srivasa Thakur in humble supplication to receive the lotus feet of Lord Gauranga. Text, song number 11. Srivasa Prati Chaitanya Prasad. Seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu show such favorable grace to Srivasa Pandit, all the devotees present there began to dance ecstatically, and they repeatedly shouted, "Jai Sri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda," with resounding voices. It is simply not possible to describe the ecstatic mood that arose in Srivasa's house at that time. Indeed, it was just like a great war of transcendental emotions was taking place within the battlefield of tears of joy, all arising due to ecstatic love for Krishna. Then the four brothers of the dead boy came over and fell down at Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet and began weeping and wailing with piteous voices choked with ecstatic love. Then they began rolling on the ground, overflowing with pure love while humbly petitioning the Lord as follows. They said, "O Lord of our lives, if calamities like this would happen every day, then that would only increase our deep loving attachment to your lotus feet. This calamity of losing our brother today is actually our great fortune, for on this day we are remembering your Lordship. If on some other day we are bereft of your remembrance, then that day is actually the real calamity for us, O Lord." Falling down at Srivasa Pandit's entire family, Bhaktivinoda thus narrates how their Lord Gaurasundara is bestowing his causeless mercy upon all distressed souls. Text number, song number 12. Mritu Shishu Loye. Lord Chaitanya was so affectionate to his own devotees and took the dead boy, and along with all the devotees began to chant the most auspicious sound vibration of the holy names. Thus singing and singing, they all arrived on the bank of the Ganga, the Janavi. Then they performed the proper funeral rites with some water from the Ganga. The personified Ganga Mai, Sri Janavi Devi, then appeared herself and said, "Such unlimited auspicious fortune has become mine today. Now I have achieved the successful fruits of all the vows and penances I have undertaken." Then Lord Chaitanya personally put the boy's body into the water. Immediately thereafter, Janavi Devi picked up the body and took him on her lap. Bringing the dead body out of the water, she touched the lotus feet of Lord Gaura. With the body still in her lap, she began to tremble in ecstatic love for the Lord. Seeing such an ecstatic mood being exhibited by Sri Janavi Devi, all the assembled devotees there immediately began chanting the auspicious holy names incessantly. From the heavens, the demigods began to shower flowers like rainfall. They crowded in the sky, almost blocking out the sunlight with their innumerable airplanes. In this way, everyone on all sides was absorbed in various ecstasies. After performing the funeral rites, they all took their bath in the Ganga. In great happiness, everyone then returned to their respective homes, and Bhaktivinoda is now completely immersed in the transcendental ecstasies of Lord Gaura's symbol. Last song, number 13. Nadia Nagari Gaura Charita Amrita. The activities and behavior of Lord Gaura Sundar within the villages around Nadia district are just like sweet ambrosial nectar. By drinking this nectar, just give up all of your material lamentation and fears and make your heart become thus fixed up. Within this temporary material world, my friends, the only substantial essence of absolute truth is Lord Krishna. Therefore, kindly take heed of Lord Chaitanya's advice and just worship Krishna constantly. Whoever understands this and thereby firmly grabs hold of Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet is most fortunate. And if he worships Sri Radha Krishna in Vrindavan, then I will accept him as my very life and soul. The Lordship Sri Radha Krishna are none other than the self-same Lord Gaura Chandra, and Sri Navadvip Dham is that very same Vrindavan Dham. If you consider this as the only essential point, then you will rightfully receive some eternal treasures. Actually, I'm completely devoid of any real knowledge or good intelligence. Indeed, I'm most lowly, insignificant, and contemptible. I'm also certainly without the slightest trace of good karma or philosophical understanding, and I'm completely bereft of any proper virtuous behavior. All the assembled Vaishnavas, whom I consider to be just like my spiritual master, have given me this title of Bhaktivinoda, because I'm actually totally devoid of any trace of devotion. This title has simply become like a painful disease for me. Taking great care to check the spreading of this disease, I have taken refuge at the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas. Taking the dust of the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas upon my head, this lowly Bhaktivinoda thus sings this story called Shoka Shatana, dispelling of grief. Any comments?
Jai! Shri Thakur ki
Jai!
Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki
Jai!
It's different. It's already said everything, so why can we say more? Yeah. No.
We can have some bhajan.
Just because.
I came a little late, but did you recite this incident with, I believe also the Lord's mood was disturbed in Kirtan once, but it wasn't because of Srivasa Thakur's sons disappearing, but it was because somebody was there was supposed to deal in the Kirtan. I don't know if you already touched upon that.
No, I didn't speak about that at all. I was simply reciting this song about the passing away of, the sudden passing away of Srivasa Thakur's son. these incidents are, there were two incidents like that. Once when the mother-in-law of Srivasa Thakur was hiding under a basket because she was so eager to see or hear the kirtan of Lord Chaitanya. And then during the kirtan, it just began like that, and sing for a little while. And then Lord Chaitanya stopped and said, the ecstasy is not there today. There must be someone here who should not be here. And then Srivasa Thakur said, no, there's only pure devotees here. And then they started searching and searching. They couldn't find anyone. And then they said, okay, there's no one here, let's try again. And then they started the kirtan. It was building up. But after a while, then Lord Chaitanya says, it's not here. Someone is here who should not be here. And then they began searching and searching. Finally, Srivasa Thakur noticed there was a big basket turned upside down. He turned this basket up. There was his mother-in-law. He grabbed her by the hair and he pulled out, "You sinful woman, get out from here, you will ruin the kirtan of Lord Chaitanya." But of course he must be a very great soul since he got the chance to see the kirtan nevertheless and be pulled up by the hair by Srivasa Thakur. And the other instance is also quite famous, that there was one brahmachari in Navadvip who was very famous. He was very renounced, he was very austere, he was completely sinless, and he was, he was so simple. He was only drinking milk, that he was eating any solid food. That was how he was sustaining himself. And he was again and again begging begging Srivasa Thakur, please let me come in and see, Lord Chaitanya's dancing and kirtan. And Srivasa Thakur said, no, he's only pure devotees are allowed to be there. But this brahmachari said, but I'm a brahmachari, I'm a pure brahmachari, I only drink milk, and I'm not sinful. And then finally Srivasa Thakur said, yes, we can come in, hide somewhere, just so then we see what happens. And then the doors were locked, and then the kirtan starts. And the kirtan also builds up, and actually it's described it becomes very ecstatic and very wild. It's described that at one point Lord Nityananda, he grabs Gadadhar Pandit and they spin around and they fly through the air. And also even Lord Chaitanya, he's also flying through the air, completely contradicting gravity, and it's a very ecstatic kirtan. And this brahmachari is witnessing all that. But it's only for a short while. When Lord Chaitanya suddenly stops the kirtan. It's not really ecstatic tonight. Something's wrong. Someone is here who should not be here. And then immediately Srivasa Thakur, he jumps and he falls at the feet of Lord Chaitanya and says, "There's one brahmachari here, but he only drinks milk. He's not." And Lord Chaitanya gets so angry, and if he gets hold of this brahmachari and he shouts at him, do you think you can obtain me by drinking milk? It's not, it's for pure devotion. It's not by drinking milk you can obtain me. And you ruin my kirtan. And if you don't get out from here, I'm going to destroy the whole universe. And and then he's thrown out this brahmachari. But then it's described as he's walking out, this brahmachari. When he's thinking, he's very humble. He thinks, actually, it's true. I'm just a pretender. I think that I can, I'm very proud of being a student. I'm just a pretender. So I'm very fallen. But then he thinks, but it was wonderful. Somehow or another, even though I'm very fallen, I got the chance. Somehow I got the chance to see the dancing of Lord Chaitanya. So actually, it was, I mean, I was just worried. And then when Lord Chaitanya understood, because he's in the soul, the heart of him, as a super soul, he understood actually what he was thinking. Then he said, no, call him back. And from that day on, this brahmachari became one of the confidential associates and was part of the kirtan. And it's even described also like there was this Gopal Chapal who offended Srivasa Thakur by once placing wine and meat outside the door. He was offended. He was a Brahmin. He was offended that he could not enter the kirtan, so he wanted to disfavor Srivasa Thakur. And of course, in the morning he came out and Srivasa Thakur saw that, then immediately, instead of trying to hide it or something, he just called for all the local people and Brahmins, saying, now you can all see where, my real nature. I'm just a pretender, a worshipper of goddess Chandi, and just see, now I see him. And then, of course, they got very disturbed and said, who has done that? And they found some sweeper and cleaned the whole place and like that. And Gopal Chapal, he fell sick with leprosy after that. And Lord Chaitanya, once Lord Chaitanya passed by, and this Gopal Chapal asked for, please give me your mercy, see how deceased I am. And Lord Chaitanya said, no, I'll never give you my mercy for millions of births because you tried to offend my pure devotee Srivasa Thakur. Only if Srivasa forgives you, then you can get some mercy. And but it is described actually at one point he gets the forgiveness of Srivasa Thakur, and he also joins the kirtan. He becomes one of his close associates also.
That's merciful.
If I may add just a comment, that it was interesting to note that the mother-in-law in Sri Lanka was eager to participate in the kirtan. He was eager to observe it. But if that was not sufficient qualification, the eagerness in itself was not sufficient. There
were no women in the kirtans, for one thing.
That was a fact, that was a general rule that
They could hear from outside, in the women's quarter, they could hear what was going on.
Okay. So I was thinking maybe that that's an important lesson in that the eagerness in itself is not sufficient qualification. You have to do it in a mood of service, not to participate in the kirtan. It's not sufficient that you want to do sightseeing, like you want to observe that I have seen, I have seen that's what the Lord was objecting to, that mood, of transcendental sightseeing, like that. Really enough to get there.
But she saw, someone did see it. So.
Isn't there something about this brahmachari who was hiding that he was almost cursed by Lord Chaitanya? Said you will never attain me in such, I don't remember, in such a long time, and he was ecstatic and jumping around. It will only take 80 That's a different story?
That's in Lalitanatha.
Okay.
And that's not in Srivasa Thakur's house, it's in Chandrasekhar's house. That's a different story. It's a different story. You should know this. It's all in. A lot of it is in Chaitanya Charitamrita like that. So. Or we all read in Chaitanya Charitamrita regularly.
How is it that the one who makes a great offense becomes a confidential associate, while the others who don't make offense, they just...
That's the independence of the Supreme Law. This can give mercy to anyone, and someone, there's no material qualification, no matter how pious you are, like that, how religious you are, that doesn't make you qualified. Somehow or other, someone can give his mercy to the most fallen, and even those he doesn't give his mercy to, but his devotees give the version to them, then he will accept them. Jaga and Mate were accepted on that account. Also became what? Some intimate associates in the house of Srivasa Thakur. It's just that this is the nature of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. How could Krishna give his verse to Putana? He made Putana his mother. And therefore Uddhava said, there can be no one more merciful than Lord Krishna. He gave his mercy to this witch who came to kill him. Okay, let's stop here. Let's stop here. Krishna.